Hello. Today we've come to talk to you about hydrogen-propelled small ferry for the city of Kokkola. Our team, Flexing Green, including our wonderful mentor, Esko Mustamäki. The primary requirements set us by our client, the city of Kokkola. They would like the ferry to hold 150 persons and sail at around 7 to 8 knots. Cruise speed, maximum speed would be around 12 knots. It should be powered by an e-fuel. Facilities would include a cafe on board. Should be able to make about 3 to 4 trips to Lighthouse Island of Tankar every day. About selecting the fuel, since we can't use diesel, ammonia as a fuel. It's toxic, causes eutrophication in water bodies, and it would require a fossil fuel to go along with it, so it doesn't work as a fuel on its own. Well, how about methanol? Um, it's still toxic and it's highly flammable. It would be a low splash point, but it's still carbon based. Well, how about methanes that I know as well? Well, it is non toxic, and it is a low flash point fuel, but again, it's carbon based, so it would produce carbon dioxide. We can do better than that. Mm, well, how about hydrogen then? Yeah, that would be non toxic. It's a low flash point fuel. It has no emissions aside water, and so it would be environmentally friendly. And it is actually available at the city of Kokkola.
Hello everyone. Hydrogen is seen as an interesting and promising technology for decarbonization. There are a couple of options as to how we can utilize the gas as fuel for propulsion. In our case vessel, we propose to install and use a fuel cell in combination with battery system. The system will power the upper deck and supply the propulsion system. Fuel cells will be receiving fuel from the hydrogen tanks in the bow below the main deck, and the cells charge the batteries. The emission from this system is only water that can be drained into the sea and has no harm to the marine ecosystem. The maturity of the technology will take place in due course, but studies have proved that zero emissions are released when using fuel cells for hydrogen propulsion system.
Guys, wait, let me tell you about hydrogen delivery and storage import. Due to hydrogen low volumetric energy density, its transportation and storage is significantly more complicated. But our solution is delivery to hydrogen safe area in the port of Kokkola, where our vessel is going to be refueled every night. And it will be ready to board passengers on quay in the city park Meripusto in the morning.
I know some ship regulations, but I've never heard of any of these. Um, hey, I know. Let's ask Sophia. Hey, Sophia.
Hi, did you know, in terms of hydrogen fuel cell vessels, there's a huge regulation gap. Currently, there's no specific provisions cover that type of vessels, and the alternative design and the risk-based assessments are the only option for the industry. However, this process can be costly, lengthy, and subject to personal interpretation for the safety approval. Therefore, the unity and effort from all stakeholders are important to make the industry as green as soon as possible.
The economical impact of this system would be rather significant considering the higher cost of batteries, fuel cells, and hydrogen tanks compared to normal ship systems. There are additional costs as well of retraining the crew for new fuel system. Environmental impacts would be positive for once if we are using green energy to produce the hydrogen. The social impacts might be more beneficial as it might attract more investments to hydrogen industry and more effective fuel cells could be produced in a few years. It might have a negative effect on the environment of some areas due to the fact that some hydrogen are not produced with green energy but with energy that is produced without fossil fuel. There is a possibility of social impacts being positive for the hydrogen industry by attracting more investments. Now, some areas might have a negative environmental effect depending on how the energy is produced or the manner of hydrogen production method. There's a good chance this could lead to a better air quality and less pollution in harbor areas. Now, storing hydrogen always has a slight risk of involuntary combustion, and those areas would need ventilation if indoors. Fuel cells require pure grade of hydrogen, which is also more expensive to produce and more energy demanding. More sensors would be required on ships to monitor the hydrogen air mixture so that it doesn't go beyond critical. Now, the payback can be a bit of a challenge due to the higher costs of the building and designing of the ship. However, we are convinced that it is worth the cost, and there will be a payback period, which will, however, be a slightly longer one than traditionally thought of. There are several hydrogen-fueled vessels already in existence, with varying degrees of technical solutions. The motivation of our team has been mostly to replace the MS Jenny in Kokkola. That is also Kokkola's motivation of doing this, and they have stated that they want a emission-free ship that is also safe and economically viable. We also feel that this would be a significant addition to the step the industry is taking into moving more green shipping and cleaner fuel systems. We would also hope that regulatory instances would take steps in establishing rules and regulations for hydrogen and e-fueled ships so that there would be a less of an issue of getting them approved case by case, so that designing them and building them would become easier and a bit cheaper.